Hello, this is Vampire, and this is my video response to YouTube user Blacksilkblacksilk, who has excellent martial arts channel, so please check it out. The video response is an actual response to a recent one that he did called The Complete Hubud Level 1 Lesson Number 5, so please check that out. Alright, the reason why I'm doing this video response is basically to show support to Blacksilk, because for one, I feel that he's tackling a very difficult area. It's a very complex area. The chi sao, the hubud, the sticky hands, the trapping. That area is a very, very difficult area in the martial arts, oftentimes highly criticized. And just his in-depth knowledge, and he is not afraid to make a long video and to go into as many details as possible. I really commend him for that, so I'm just showing my support, and I think there's a lot of appreciation that is missing for something like that, so I want to show the appreciation also by going into the many details that he tackles and covers in the video. So I just want to give my viewpoints and make it kind of like a discussion video and reviewing based off of his video. Okay, the technique that Silk showed, or one of the techniques that he showed, was for the hubud, is he used this motion right here, and then we trap and come in. So this is a parry, and then this, and we come in with a strike like that. Okay, for me personally, this kind of motion right here, this is a karate block that I actually practice when I'm doing my forms and stuff, right? When I'm doing kata practice, but also for me it goes along with the karambit technique. So to me, this motion right here, I'm holding a karambit blade, and this is where I'm coming in with the slices with the karambit movement. So it was very nice to see that he talked about that area, because it's something I'm also very familiar with. Another guy that also does a really good job showing this kind of stuff is Urban Silat, so please check him out. He does some really great hubud forms and stuff. Alright, so just last night when I was doing my workout consisting of various martial arts that I've learned over the years, one of the things that I enjoy doing also is when I'm feeling really tense is I like to practice a little bit of Aikido, Bagua, and Tai Chi. A little bit that I've learned from the three. I'm not an expert in any of them, but those three, and I combined it together. They both seem to work very, very well for me. They combine very well. They're both like internal styles. So I'll be doing the Udefuri Undo from Aikido, and then that goes right away into the Bagua, where the body is twisted, and then the branch, the arms come in, and this kind of movement for me, and having the sights in there, this works out very, very well for me. And then to combine that once again with the Tai Chi type movement. So as I was doing that last night, I kind of noticed that the specific techniques don't even matter. That they all kind of go together, and within those movements that I'm doing, like just where I'm switching the postures and changing the weight, off my footwork, there's techniques within that may or may not happen, and it may change depending on the situation. It's just very undefined and adaptable, extremely adaptable. But the bottom line is, there's like this solid core that you're developing. And watching Blacksilk's video, I really felt that this was the case, that it really didn't matter the technique that you're doing. It really comes down to your stance, your footwork, and then of course you need to know the techniques and stuff, and you need to spring out into those techniques. But it's like when a good example of this, I'm thinking, is like if someone just pushes you. When they push you, can you redirect that energy? Can you brace it, or can you you know, receive it in a certain way and manipulate it, you know, into different techniques? You know, can you have that ability? That's essentially what they're going for. So if I'm just walking and someone bumps into me, how do I receive that force, you know? So I thought that was very, very interesting. And then of course, to break it down, that each technique is supposed to kind of teach you the essence of that. So it's not so much the technique is the main thing, but it's more so that what the technique is trying to teach you comes down to body mechanics, in my opinion. So I thought that was very interesting. Watching his video kind of reaffirmed that, you know, like in some of the Wing Chun that I've seen, is like when they're trying to teach you certain types of energies through technique. So through a technique, you know, this is spring energy, or you know, this is you know, I don't even know what it's called, but like you're actually using circular motion to redirect the energy, or this is where you're actually slamming it down. You know, there's different types of energies involved, and they're trying to teach you those energies, you know, through the technique. So this is what I really felt from his video. All right, I know I'm talking in very abstractly. You know, it's something you actually really have to feel, and you already have to kind of have at least some solid form of martial arts experience. So I think his video is actually pretty advanced, actually. But to put it more in layman's terms, all right, is basically one of the things that you can get easily off of the video is that when a person comes in to attack you, all right, when a person comes in to strike, especially, they're vulnerable to a grab. And then vice versa, when a person is trying to grab you, they're vulnerable to a strike. You know, that there's two different energies involved. So if you could kind of think about that and practice that. Of course, you know, there is the moment where the person trying to strike is just going to land a strike, and that's going to be beneficial to him, of course. But once again, when we're talking about counters here, when I'm going in for the strike, you know, I'm very vulnerable to getting grabbed, and you've seen it many times in the Ultimate Fighting Championship and things of that nature. And then once again, vice versa, you know, if someone's just trying to grab you, you know, then very, very vulnerable to a strike. And it's a very interesting dynamic if you think about that. It's almost contradictory, but it's just it goes in a circle. All right, the next thing that I really enjoyed from Silk's video was he was talking about doing the hubud type motions in a very more compact way. So when you first start off, your motions are very large, but then, you know, as you get better, obviously you're going to become more and more efficient. So the Chinese, to me, they really focus on this aspect, and they do a really good job where less is better. So with minimal amount of movement, just how much force can you generate, you know, hence the inch punch and things of that nature. They really focus on that, which to me shows a huge amount of efficiency right there. But also on the other hand, me coming personally from the stick fighting and stuff, one of the things that I noticed is that smaller isn't necessarily more realistic. Okay, smaller is to me efficient and very, very high skill, but that doesn't mean that it's more effective in the street or whatever. In the street, chances are the guys you're going to meet are not going to be, you know, compact in their motions. They're probably going to be very, very huge and large, you know, in their swings and their motions, trying to take your head off. You know, so it's good to experience both, in my opinion. I'm not trying to contradict Silk. I'm just trying to bring up some, you know, ideas here. And I do like the big motions because one of the things is they add a tremendous amount of power. Now that power is, this is a huge lot of destruction force when you come out like this. And if you just watch any of the demonstrating videos where people are trying to cut cardboard, or, you know, any kind of targets with the knives and stuff like that, they're making huge swings for a reason. It has a lot of power. So when you're doing your hubud exercises and the person is coming at you like that, you know, it's a good way to increase some power. Now on the other hand, when you make it very, very compact, you know, your skill level is going to go up. It's a different circumstance, and it's very, very good also for me because, like, when you are, let's say, doing the heaven 6, so you're doing the heaven 6 motion in very compact motion like this with defense mixed in like this, you know, in a way that's also very, very realistic, and also prepares you for the clinch collision. So once you are colliding with the other person from there, that's a different kind of force involved. it's a sticky kind of force, you know. So now the bodies are going to be a lot closer, and then from there, you know, sensitivity can have a huge factor in there as well.